Vice UK are never going to forgive you for asking that. It's the first time I've been to Hong Kong, you know? Stepping off the plane and getting in a taxi across that bridge and seeing, I mean, you see it every day. It's almost like as far away from nature as you can get. But at the same time, apparently there were so many typhoons in this area that there wasn't any nature here for a long time. It was just like a barren rock, you know? I embrace it, especially from the point of view of provincial England, where I think what we need is globalisation, to be honest. We just pray for the chance to be able to play in other countries. It's been such a long time coming, you know. We should have done it before, and we need to do it more. When we're pushed along by the music and we're playing our music, it's bliss. So to be able to do that and go to Mexico and Hong Kong, and you know, like, I'd love to go back to Thailand. I'd love to go back to Russia. I'd love to go to South America. Yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm ready for globalisation. Yeah, fuck it. People do say that I went to private school. That's outrageous, like complete bollocks, and very offensive actually. Very offensive to say I went to private school. And yeah, so that's not very nice. What else? Yeah, someone said I had webbed toes. That's not true, because people believe everything they read. You know, no one believes you when you say, but no, they twisted that photograph. It wasn't really me, or Vice paid him to do that.
How long have you been here?
Oh, at least 17 minutes.
If there was one word to sum Oasis up, what would that word be?
Trousers.
This guy's brilliant. Nice one, thanks a lot.
I'll tell you the truth about this one. This is another one that you said about stories that annoyed me. That day, right, I think I was about 17, I was in London, right, and my nan, my grandmother, she lived not far from that HMV store where Oasis had released that record. Me, I just wanted to get on telly, right? So I seen the queue and I was like, what's going on? Oh, Oasis released a record. I wasn't a massive Oasis fan, but I had to be in order to get on the telly. So I grabbed a cardboard cutout of Liam Gallagher and a cardboard cutout of Noel Gallagher from the front of the HMV, and I was like, yeah. And I was on the back of the bus in Oxford Street, but then I said that thing about the trousers, and now everyone's like, are you obsessed with Oasis when you're 17? I wasn't. I just wanted to get on the telly. I bought every newspaper the next day. There wasn't one photograph of me in there. It's a mod thing, you know, about like Farrah Stay Pressed, or I think at that age, you know, going out for the first time, it was all about, like, you know, having the right trousers. My first failed ambition, I suppose, was not to get a place at the, you know, on the course that I wanted. I think there were certain universities I wanted to go to, and they didn't want me, and that was the first sort of slap down when I realised life, you couldn't just go and do what you wanted. And then I thought, nah, fuck it, actually, I'm going to go and do exactly what I want. But they still wouldn't let me in. And then I met Carl. In the way that I was outraged that UCL wouldn't take me, he was somehow outraged that no model agencies would give him a contract. He'd sit outside the model agencies, he'd say, come with me, we'll sit here at the bus stop. And he'd hi. All these beautiful boys would be coming out of the modelling agency. And we'd be sat there like all spotty at the bus stop, and he'd be going, look at him, I'm much better looking than him. Look, let's go and beat him up and get his contract. You know? And I was not so much amused by him as kind of like frightened by him, but I needed to learn to play the guitar, and he needed someone to push him and believe in him, and so we both just sat there and said, oh fuck it, we'll form a band and go to Arcady. In the same way I was maybe obsessed with clothes, he was very obsessed with looks. I've never slept with a boy, but I can appreciate a good looking boy, and I always thought Carl was quite striking looking, but because at school he'd been like, you know, he'd been always told he was ugly and blah blah blah, and so he had this strange complex where I think he just needed to be loved and told that he was beautiful, but it can go too far, you know, because now he insists he's getting better looking as he gets older. It took me quite a few years to feel strong enough and confident enough to really fight for what I want and stand up for what I believe in. It wasn't always there. But I'll tell you who really changed the way I thought about that. It was a guy called Alan Wass, who was a friend of mine who, he's no longer with us, but he just wasn't scared to stand up for himself, you know? even in impossible situations where there's no hope of achieving anything but like pain or like a good beating, he'd always stand up and he'd never back down. So seeing that firsthand, you know, actually like changed the way I looked at things completely. You know, the veneer of civilization is so thin, and for some people it's not there at all. You know, it's like an everyday reality. 2 weeks ago, you got a guy with a sub-automatic machine gun, you know, walking down the street, killing people like rabbits in central Paris. But that's the same for me. Like, it's like a guy with a machine gun, you know, just killing people like rabbits. It's the equivalent of a bully at school, you know. It's just someone threatening or exploiting and taking somebody scared, you know, somebody smaller, somebody unarmed. It's just a complete like microscopic explosion of like the excess of human cruelty, basically. The initial pressure always comes from like ourselves at the very beginning, me and Carl, but that's so difficult. And that's so much pressure that once that's dealt with, like for example, like say the Milkman's Horse, like when we were writing that song and putting it together, and it was one idea combined with another idea and playing it together and working out the structure and bringing in new lyrics. Once I'm satisfied that he's into it, right, and he's into my part, and he's satisfied that I'm into his part, that's the pressure over really, because we're not really scared of anything after that, because the trust between us is so strong and the belief is so strong. Now that could either be complete, like, you know, self-delusion on our part, which all the great bands have, you know. It's like as much as any band has been acclaimed, it's been criticised, you know. It's like, and that's why we carry on, really. It's where it all started and it's where it all ends. My heart melts that Vice magazine, those cynical, like corrupt, drug and sex obsessed, like, you know, pioneers of the underground world of journalism are actually asking about soulmates, because you're right, you know, it's a beautiful thing that we should all believe in. And yeah, you know, I miss my friend so much, and I still don't think I spend enough time with him, and he's my soulmate and I love him, and that's the truth. And you know, Vice UK are never going to forgive you for asking that. Something so pure and beautiful and true, you know. They're going to say soulmate is a myth, and then bang, when they experience a soulmate, then, you know, that's what destroys the myth. And that's what makes it so great. It's like people never believed in QPR, you know, but occasionally we have a good run and then, you know, it all comes true. All at Sea by the Libertines, but the really slow version, yeah, because now I'm in that mood. You got me in that mood. There's a song called Meet Me on the Corner by a band called Linda's Fun. My dad used to sing it to me when I was a kid. Hey, Mr. Dreams. Oh yeah, Anthea and Donna, and Uptown Top Ranking. This is a good song. It's my ringtone as well, so. Boo! Oh, love me.